I did not get the memo about the fashion this morning. You guys look fantastic side by side.
That's because you're not in the loop.
You could be on a runway together right now with those outfits. Those so nice.
That's
and classy.
what I was thinking this morning at 4:45.
Oh, actually, as was I. Yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay, we're runway
Perhaps
ready.
I should say welcome to Donna Hilsinger.
Well, thank you,
Thanks
Tim.
for joining us.
Thank you.
So good of you to come in.
Thank you.
Especially this early. I know how busy you are.
Donna wakes up at, you all have always...
4:40 this morning.
This is
On
not
purpose?
unusual.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's the best time of the day.
Really?
The universe is quiet.
Yes.
And you can think very clearly, I find, at that time of the day. So that's when I try and think, I try and write that time of the day. I try and do difficult tasks.
Do you journal?
No, I'm not a very good journaler. No.
I just didn't know when you said right.
Apparently, you're supposed to journal,
Apparently
and I've tried, and yeah, I'm not very good at it, but I should keep trying.
If they would allow us to journal by dictating, I could do that because I love to talk.
Why can't you journal by dictating? Who made the rule that said you can journal the way you choose?
Thank you, Donna Hilsinger. From now on, I shall journal by dictating. You know I'm not going to do that either, but anyway.
Yeah, no, he's not going to do that either. So we're here talking to Donna for a very awesome reason.
Exciting.
We're very excited because she is going to run as a candidate for city council in the upcoming election in October. So what, you're not busy enough?
Well, you know, these opportunities only come around once every 4 years, and I've been doing a few different things in my life in the last couple of years, and I see this as an opportunity to take my passion for the community and apply it in a different way.
Now, it's interesting you said it. You put it that way because you're fairly well known in the community, and that was going to be my next question. Why now? Because you've been so involved. You're on the Police Services Board, of course, the hotel. And
Economic Development Corporation, you just stepped down from your position on that.
Fall
Yeah,
Festival.
yeah,
Algoma Fall Festival, you're the executive director.
Yes, yes. Well, there's a number of things about how I live my life, and one of them is you can sleep when you die. That's one of my favorites. As I said, you know, these opportunities only come around once every 4 years. I don't work at the hotel on a day-to-day basis anymore, and so I've applied myself in different ways in the community, doing the work at the Fall Festival as executive director as opposed to a volunteer board member, and now it's time. I'm comfortable. I've been encouraged by a lot of people over the last number of years to put myself forward to become politically driven, and the timing seems to be right for me, and now is the time if I'm going to do it. So here we go.
Ward
2 feet.
Ward 3.
Ward 3, yes.
And that's where you live.
That's where I live. That's where our business is.
Oh, true.
And yes, so I'm looking forward to the opportunity to earn the trust and respect of the people who live in that ward, and perhaps they'll give me a chance to represent them.
Now, you know what? It's interesting because it sounds like you've been sort of reinventing yourself a little bit over the last couple of years, right? Which we all have had to do. Yeah, doesn't matter how old you are.
Yes.
You get to do that. So this seems like a logical next step.
It does kind of.
But yes, it's one of the logical next steps, I guess. As I've tended to shy away from politics in the past. As I said, I've been encouraged by a lot of people in the past, but some of the methodologies and the ways that politics is managed are not very comfortable for me, and I tend to be very action-oriented, very straight-shooting, get to the point, make things happen, either on my own or with others around me. And sometimes politics can be a little belabored in that kind of thing. And so, but I think I have something to contribute.
I've worked with you on a number of projects, and when you talk about working at a political level, you've had to deal with politicians many times in your many different the different hats that you've worn over the years. So you're not unfamiliar with bureaucracy and red tape and all of the stuff that has to, and you know how to play the game, so to speak, as when it comes to things like grant writing and dealing with government levels and dealing with local politicians too. That's a leg up for you, would you say?
Certainly.
Knowing the inner workings?
Certainly. I mean, I've made a lot of, you know, I have a lot of colleagues and friends who work within political organizations. I've been exposed to it for a long time. I've been encouraged by some of them. I've received advice by some of them. And so I'm fairly comfortable. that I'll be able to adapt again once, should I be given the opportunity, that I'll be able to adapt to what it needs and share my visions with the working group, with council and the mayor, and see what we can create in the next 4 years.
Politics is in your blood a little bit too. You're thinking back to your father, JJ, at one time was very involved politically. More lately, your dad has been more socially active, doing a lot of fundraising.
Your dad was involved with politics?
Oh, you did not know that?
I didn't.
Yes,
No.
yes. He was involved with a number of people in the Sioux community when Trudeau was running, actually in the late 60s.
He managed my dad's campaign.
And,
I didn't realize
my
that.
father ran when my father was a Liberal member of Parliament.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And then did your dad not run his own?
He did. In the early 70s, he ran for provincial parliament.
We were pretty hardcore NDP at that point in Sault Ste. Marie. The steel plant was booming. Things were doing well industrially.
Except John Rhodes beat him.
The Conservative.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
Yes.
and so did Anne Valentine, who was the NDP. So
NDP.
he ran third in that. But
That's because you know why? That's just at that time the political winds were shifting.
it was, well, and John Rhodes was an incredible person
He
as
was.
well.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
Big on
so
his career.
absolutely, absolutely. So yes, politics is in my.
And your daughter works.
She does.
She
She
was
does.
the.
She's been involved. She's been working. She worked for Ronna Ambrose for when she was interim leader. She works for the mayor of Toronto right now.
Right.
So.
So there, see, it's all there.
Yeah, it's all in the blood.
I don't know where she got that from, but whether that came from me or on her own, or
Maybe your grandpa.
yeah,
We have
exactly.
to take a quick break.
Yes.
And I'm sure Luann has more questions for you. I'm just sort of here to watch, and this is fun for me because
I'm looking forward to talking policy issues.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I want to hear about what Donna has
Yeah.
on and what she foresees as issues that she'd like to tackle if she were to win
When she does.
When she okay. So we'll be right back with more mornings with Luann and Tim and Donna right after this.
So glad to have you with us on Mornings with Luann and Tim. Joining us this morning, Donna Hilsinger, because she's running as a candidate in the upcoming municipal election. Very exciting, in Ward 3. What's your main concern or issue? What do you want to get to first?
Well, the list is probably too long.
That's why I said, what's your main?
I'm going to have to, over time, really prioritize this. But there's a number of things. I think that we need a new and an updated, really brave and bold vision for this community. I mean, I believe, and I have for a long time, I'm extremely passionate about how amazing what the quality of life is here, and how we could grow to be something that people will thrive in. I mean, the quality of life here is extraordinary, right? We know all about the nature. We're on the shores of the largest freshwater lake in the world, and we can move about our city without congestion. There are good quality jobs here. There's great schools, great education, both primary, secondary, and post-secondary. There's wonderful arts and culture, which is yet to be improved upon and grown, and so it's just a great place for people to live. And we've started to peter out in terms of our population. Most communities, not all, but most communities in Northern Ontario are shrinking a little bit, and I think we can change that. I think we can change that with a brave and bold new vision. Oh gosh.
Are you thinking
official plan? That's what I wanted to
the
say.
official plan?
Yes, I had plan in my head, but we're about to update the official plan for the community. That's a tremendous opportunity for us to create new standards. Capitalize more on the natural beauty. Oh yeah, no, we got to shake it up a lot.
Yeah.
I'm looking to shake it up a lot. I think our aesthetics, our property standards can be vastly improved. What's happening at the old hospital site, for an example, is really frustrating, and I know that the city is acting on it, and I would encourage them to keep doing that, and I would encourage those responsible for it to just get on it, because we deserve better standards than that. I think generally speaking, we need a proper mobility plan for this community. It needs to address transit, it needs to address trails, it needs to address accessibility, it needs to think ahead into the future. You know, there's a number like 90% of people are going to own electric cars in the next 10 to 15 years. We know young people aren't buying cars as much as they used to, right? So what are we doing to address that in our community?
To get ready for that.
How are we making, how are we helping with our greenhouse gas issues, doing our own part in terms of making it safer, easier, more interesting for people to use transit? I'm understanding that the new transit system, while it's made some new improvements, there's some timing issues that I know I've been told people can't get to work in the morning, right? People who work early shifts, you know, they're forced to take taxis, and I understand fiscal responsibility.
Lots of complaints from students too about the transit system.
Yeah, you know, I think we need to treat the city like a business, right? And businesses, to me, businesses need to be socially responsible and they need to be fiscally responsible, right? And your business isn't going to thrive if you're not the best at what you do. You have to be the best, right? There's competition, right? There's competition in Northern Ontario and other communities where people
all vying for.
We're all vying, right? And
we're a border city too.
Absolutely. And so if we're not understanding that we're in a competitive business of growing a city, we're not going to do the best that we possibly can. Right, so
you have your children would be considered millennials. Is that true?
They are, yes.
Okay, so and this is something that I think current politicians are starting to address. Newer people who are coming up, like yourself, who have children of that age. These are the people we need to address. We need to find out what they're looking for in the community, so that they are invited, they feel welcome, and that there's something for them to move here to,
or come back to.
I think that a lot of millennials feel frustrated that their voices are not being heard. And so I'm hoping that people like you and others will start listening to that generation and finding out what it is that they require from a community to live there happily. We did it with doctors. We found out what doctors needed to come here. So let's find out what other people require from us as a community to offer them that makes it enticing, right?
Why aren't we looking at the bigger picture, Donna?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I really think we started looking at the bigger picture with the Community Adjustment Committee report and now the roundtable. I participated in both those things. I think we need to move faster. I think we need to become even more visionary. We've done a lot of good work in the last 4 years. This council has done some great things. I would just like to see us be more progressive, have more standards, be more nimble, and be more innovative, and you know, there are 700 jobs going to come available at Algoma in the next several years. You know, that is a tremendous opportunity.
700.
That's
a lot of family.
Okay? It's a lot of people, right?
Wow.
700 jobs could be, you know, 2,000, 3,000 people, right?
Yep.
And so, you know, why does somebody want to come here to take a really great paying job in a dynamic industry in Sault Ste. Marie?
And raise their kids here and live here.
And there are a lot of great jobs that right now that are being challenged to be filled, and there will be more that will come up as we go forward. And so I think that whole recruitment of people to Sault Ste. Marie needs a more collaborative approach where, you know, you said we did it with doctors, and we did it with doctors sort of with this group, and we've done it in with the lottery, for example, with this group. But I don't feel like we've had as much of a collaborative and integrated approach as we could, that is going out and helping people, looking for people to come and take on these jobs and move to our community. But also, one of the challenges is when people come to a community, usually their partner needs a job too, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, I'm calling it a concierge system, to really help connect people so that we are providing service to them. You know, just like we do in the hospitality industry. You know, we serve people. Our community is here to serve our residents and to serve those who come to visit us and encourage that growth.
Yeah. Awesome. Boy, I'm all invigorated now.
I know. That's what I think a good politician does. A good politician excites you and gives you hope and enervates you.
Yeah.
Enervates, is that a good word?
Enervates. I think invigorates. I really like the bold thought process. That's really something, and doing things a little bit more quickly.
Yes, we don't have time on our side.
No, we sure don't. We got to get on this.
Diversification is huge.
The person who's going to get on it is Donna Hilsinger in Ward 3. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. We're going to keep a track on you throughout your campaign, see how you're doing.
Thank you so much. Thanks for
inviting
me.
Do you want to stick around and watch me pole dance?
Oh, absolutely. That's something I don't think I've seen you do before, Tim.
Yeah,
that's the one thing you've never done.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Always learning and growing.
Absolutely.
So listen, we got to take a break. Luann's coming back with the news after this. Once again, thanks to Donna Hilsinger running for Ward 3. And October 22nd is the date for the municipal elections. Get involved, get out, learn about your candidates, and vote. And we'll see you right after this message. We'll be back with more Mornings with Luann and Tim.